Hi, friends. Thanks for tuning in to the Mental Fitness Unscripted podcast, where our conversation will encourage your healthy living journey. Inspired by our Team Quadzilla coaching motto, healthy living starts between your ears, we talk about mental fitness in ways that challenge us to think about our thinking regarding topics like habits, leadership, exercise, values, marriage, parenting, and faith. Our hope with this podcast is to sharpen you as we sharpen ourselves to be all we were made to be. So let's dive right into the conversation on this episode of Mental Fitness Unscripted.
Cut off kind of mid-sentence here, so anyway.
Yeah, we did. We did get cut off. We'll see how the editing works out on that one, but
There you go. Well, I started the recording so you can just kind of leave this on and, we got cut off on.
Oh, right, yeah.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
we got cut off last time. We were in a big discussion about all kinds of just healthy living, practical stuff, especially related to movement and exercise and also food. I just want to recap a couple of things, mostly for my own benefit, so we don't repeat ourselves from before. But we started out talking about how you can't outwork a bad diet. You shared a really great story, personal story about your relationship with food and how it's definitely a mental fitness exercise to recognize how you relate to food and maybe what can be done about that.
Oh, I deserve chocolate. I deserve chocolate.
Yeah, I deserve. Yes.
I worked out today. Yeah, I deserve chocolate.
I know there's so much there for us to unpack, and maybe we can come back to that a little bit more. But there's definitely this mind-body connection that we need to recognize and that when we're taking good care of our body, it makes us perform better everywhere else. Absolutely. In our relationships, in our workplace, and all that kind of stuff. So it's super important to be taking care of our bodies. And then we kind of wrapped up last time with the pain element that's involved in. We're having to choose our pain. There's a set of pain that comes with giving up on life and being discouraged and depressed and lazy in your couch, just wasting your life. That hurts in certain ways, and it also can hurt in certain ways to move and to make your body sore and to overcome injuries and all this kind of stuff. And so we gotta choose through that, and it changes as we age too, right? The different kinds of aches and pains that we have to deal with and overcome, and how that affects even how we move. So anyway, that's kind of where we left, and I just think we've got so much more to tackle here. So do you want to talk about exercise some more and just try to get really practical about that for us and for anyone who might listen? Maybe we should start there. I was thinking, maybe let's just talk about what our routines are. Okay. We're regular middle-aged men. We're not, trying to conquer the world by our athletic feats, but we're striving to be a healthy version of ourselves.
I thought that was the whole reason we were headed for the Olympics here.
Yeah. The Senior Citizen Olympics. That's about all I could qualify for.
Well, you shouldn't make fun of that. It actually exists. So I have a friend.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. And I would probably be very embarrassed to keep up with the 80-year-old guy that's running a 12-second 100 or whatever.
I saw the other day that there was a gentleman, and I've met him. I didn't realize he was old as he was, but I actually ran a Spartan race with this guy. When was that? It would have been in 2022 in Colorado Springs. Anyway, this fellow, he decided that he was going to stop doing Spartan races, and he ran his last one at 91.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
How inspiring is that?
Yeah. No, I got to meet him on the course in Colorado Springs, and a really great guy. He's a Navy veteran. He did Spartan races for the very reason that we've been talking about, is just to stay on that edge Was he good at it? No. I mean, the guy, when he would have been just in his late 80s, so 88, 89. He's now 91. Um,
Mm.
anyway, sorry. I kind of went off left field there, but we
Well,
we talk about the Senior Olympics, and it's a real deal. There are people that absolutely stick with it.
yeah.
But anyway, sorry, I kind of took a
Well,
left turn
it's
there.
inspiring because no, it's inspiring because it shows us that if we live a lifestyle where we keep moving,
Yep,
then these things are possible. I
yep,
mean, that guy is just a guy who happened to choose over a long period of time to just keep moving.
exactly.
And the rest of the world looks at that and it's like, how is that even possible? Well, it's not as hard as we think. And that's what I want to encourage us about is that no matter where we are today, there's always something that we can do. And to your point from last time, our bodies are incredible machines
They
that can
are.
grow and heal and improve at any age. And we just need to choose to keep moving. So what does that look like for us these days? I maybe tell us something about your routine. I know you get up really early every day and just talk about that.
You know, for me, it's a mental exercise. Do you want my routine or do you want why I do it?
Both. I mean, they very much go together, right?
What's funny is I've got a good friend, a really close friend, and he says, Todd, why do you do this stuff? And I feel bad for him because he's going through some health stuff right now that I think could have been
Mm.
avoided by just movement.
Oh,
And
yeah. Okay.
my answer to him has always been, well, because I can. Why do you do those things? Well, because I
Mm.
can. Um, and
Mm.
and I don't think he understood what I meant by that. Why do I do a Spartan race? Because I can. There are some people my age that can't, and
Yeah.
for a variety of reasons. And I'm not judging any of them. It's just something that I've chosen to do. However, my friend was judging me, thinking that I'm crazy, and so my thing
Mm.
is that I do it because I can, and I
Mm.
choose to, and so.
Mm.
My workout thing, this is funny because I had a discussion with my son just Saturday. Well, yeah, it was Saturday. So almost a week ago. No, it was Monday. Sorry. It was Labor Day. So
Mm.
we went out into the wilderness and we were talking about some things that we were doing and um, I know this will be banned from social media if I talk about what we were doing because it included pew pew things that made loud noises and threw threw things a long
Yeah, we better not talk about that. Yeah.
it threw things a long ways away from where we were.
Yes.
We were trying to connect with things that were very difficult and far away with these objects that the pew pew was
Hmm.
throwing. Did I cover ourselves there?
Yeah. Yeah, that was beautiful. Very poetic.
And anyway, he made the point. He said, there are there are so many people that are much better at this than us. And I said, it's interesting. We accomplished what we wanted to in a practical manner because we're getting ready for some activities that include that skill. And
Hmm.
um, the way I the way there is a point to this story. Okay. So the way I described that to him was, as I said, son, we're practical at this. Okay, so we meet a situation, we know how to do it. It's not a prescribed environment where everything's controlled and measured and
Mm.
exact. The stuff that we enter is not exact and is very up in the air. And so we have to make a determination there. And so what I said was, is it's like exercise. I have a friend, she does bodybuilding and body sculpting competition. Her whole thing is trying to get down to 2 to 1% body fat, just so that there's
Jeez.
definition and, you know,
Yeah.
and she lifts weights and does those types of things. I was actually at an event not long ago with this young lady, and I was operating the event, so I had set it up and operating it, and she was very determined to win this, and she did. She did very well, but I could see the moment that she ran out of gas. I could
Mm.
tell when she ran out of, you know, that out of her tank was empty. And I
Yeah.
and I looked at my son and I said, she has a very different vein of what fitness is versus what I deem as fitness.
Hmm.
And so you asked me what's my workout? Well, my workout is not. I don't care if I have six-pack abs. Now, if I do, I'll be really excited, but I don't. However, what I want a practicality of if I have to work in the yard for 6, 8 hours at my mom and dad's because they've got this problem with their whatever, I want to be able to do that. And so it's more of a practical, functional fitness. Spartan races. What's funny is I see these people that have been at the gym and look very good and are, almost no body fat. There's no gas in the tank for them to go for a long period of
Mm.
time and do those types of things.
Yeah.
They look really good, and I'm not faulting that. I've just made my choice of I want a functional fitness. So I'll give you an example of I don't know. It's probably been 10, 11 years ago. I was on a hike with my wife and with some friends, and we were leading this group of girls. I'd volunteered to be the hike leader, and all of a sudden, this girl took really ill to the point that she was throwing up. She was in extreme pain. Well, I had to carry her on my back for 2 miles down the hill
Mm.
to get her, and it turned out that she had appendicitis. But
Oh, wow.
that's what I want is I want to be able to, if called on, to do that kind of thing and not have it be this
Hmm.
um, emergency thing. I don't know if
Yeah.
it makes sense. I want to be able to get on the ground with my grandchildren, or I want to go hiking with my children and grandchildren. If they call up and say, "Hey, Dad, we're going to go do this," I want to be able to do that. If one of them falls down, I want to be able to carry them out to where they, it's a functional fitness, and I want to just be there to operate that. And so that's my choice. Do I have definition in my muscles? Well, a little bit, but I'm I'm a lot more. I carry a lot more body fat than 2%. So, it. What's my workout like? It's a lot of the functional stuff. So I had to give you a little background. Do you still want me to answer what my workout looks like?
Yeah, just give us some examples of what you do. I mean, I know that you get up early,
I
and
do.
that's a discipline. It
It is.
requires some mental fitness just to do that. But then, you also don't go to the gym for 3 hours.
I
So,
don't. I
what
don't.
kind of things do you do that supports your ambition for functional fitness?
Okay. Well, today was a recovery day. I worked pretty hard yesterday, and this might give you a flavor of what I do. So, my warm up for the day is I will do 3 sets of 6 exercises. The first one is burpees. I know that if I do 10
Mm,
burpees, that nothing worse in the day can happen. Okay,
yeah,
and so I
yeah,
just
right.
I
Yeah,
just
exactly.
I just start with that. Okay. And that's a mental thing for me because I
Yeah.
I've exercised for years early in the morning, but it's still not fun to get up early in the morning and say, "Oh man, I got to do this." And so I just take
Yeah.
on the worst. And so I do 3 sets. So there's 6 exercises. I do 3 sets, and it's my warm up. So I do burpees, then I'll do sit ups, and part of my sit ups is a get up and a get down without hands. So
Mm.
I'll lay on the ground, I'll get up, I'll lay back down on the ground, and then I'll do my sit ups, um, and then I do push ups, and then I do squats. So just air squats, body weight air squats, and then I will do. Do you know what a star jump is? You know,
Yep.
you squat clear to the ground, and then jump and do a star shape. I'll do that, and then the last one is Superman's. That's where you lay on your belly
Yeah.
and you arch your back and hold that
Yeah.
position for just a few seconds. Um,
Way harder than it sounds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so that's my warm up, and then I will usually. It depends on the day, but like yesterday, I did a row. I did 2,000 meters on a rowing machine. I've got a Concept 2 rowing machine at my home. So I did 2,000 meters, and then I jumped on the elliptical machine, which is raised up, so it's more like a stair stepper. It's it's quite a high angle, and I did that for a half hour, and then I go for a walk with my wife. Now, yesterday my walk was I carried a 60-pound sandbag
Oh,
for a
good
half
grief.
hour on my walk. So that was my workout yesterday. This morning I did my oh sorry I do stretch. We stretch before we go for the walk. So
Mm.
I spend 20 minutes with my wife. We do yoga and stretching, um, and boy, that's made all the difference. I
Yeah.
I have to admit that up until probably 3 years ago, I would stretch. You know, I just stretch out my calves or
Pretend
something.
stretching.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, it's just kind of a cursory stretch.
Yeah.
But we spend a good 20 minutes doing yoga and stretching now. Um, anyway, that was my workout yesterday. This morning, I did we did the stretching, did a warm up, and then I just went for a nice 45-minute walk. It's kind of a
Yeah.
recovery from yesterday. 60 pounds for a half hour at a fast pace, just in a bag.
That's a lot.
It,
Yeah.
and so I'm moving the bag. I'll carry it in front. I'll put it on the right shoulder, do it on the left shoulder. Um, I'll put it on my neck. I just keep moving where it is, um,
Hmm.
mainly to build my core and to have that offset. And that there again,
Yep.
it's that functional thing. You know, can I carry a person
Yeah.
out of the woods?
Yeah.
Actually, have a
Or
hundred
whatever it is that you found in the woods after pew-pewing.
there. Pew pew. Uh,
Oh, that's great. I want to comment on a couple of things. First of all, um, Todd is a pretty great example of someone who is quite disciplined with their morning routine. Just the list of things that you're doing and the time that's involved in that requires you to get up pretty early to do that
yeah,
before.
my
And
day
so
starts at 4:30.
um, yeah, so that's not for everyone.
No,
You're probably a fraction of the 1%er of people your age who are doing this type of routine. I don't do that much of routine. And so firstly, kudos to you for such a disciplined routine and the example that it provides to your family and the people who are paying attention to you. But I would say that um, for for other people who are like, well, how do I even just get started? Man, if someone would just do even your warm up, which requires no equipment,
yeah,
it's just you and the floor, and 15 minutes, and just do some very simple, basic foundational movements, that's way better than nothing. And then I also love that you said how you do some stretching. And like you, I have discovered the incredible benefits of investing the time and energy to just do a regular stretching routine or some kind of yoga or Pilates where you're just moving in maybe uncomfortable ways and holding a pose or whatever. That just strengthens and stretches and relaxes joints and just helps you feel so much better. So um, a lot of great elements into what you're doing there. I think the also walking is way underrated as an exercise. And if you can carry some weight with you or pick up your pace, that's even bonus. But even just walking at all, if people would just do that, I mean, take your dog for crying out loud. So many people have dogs and they don't even take them out. It's
Yeah.
like, gee whiz, just take your dog for a walk.
So,
So a lot of really great things there that we can drag from your routine, Todd. Thank you for sharing that.
well, sure. And the other thing is I found that I can do two things at once. So, for instance, while I'm rowing, I can listen to a book. While I'm on the
Oh, sure.
while I'm on the elliptical machine, I can listen. So everybody knows we're religious at this point, and so I listen to religious stuff. I'll listen to scriptures or maybe a thought by a religious leader, or just something that kind of grounds me spiritually. And
Hmm.
I try and do at least those two things. Listen to a good book that stretches my mind, and it's usually a self-help type book, and then I'll do
Mm.
something spiritual. But people say, well, how do you get to all these things? Well, if you can do two things at once, I can walk and listen to something at the same time.
Yeah, right.
So,
Yeah.
anytime you
Yep.
can do two things at once, um, wow, you spend a half hour with scriptures. Well, yeah, while I'm walking or running or yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah,
in my
that's
warm up,
fantastic.
even in my warm up, I'm listening to something, but breathing like crazy because I see that
Yeah.
my warm up it's twofold. I want to get that anaerobic out of the way. I want to go to heavy
Mm,
breathing, really trying to suck wind, and that's my thing.
yeah.
And to your point, just do something. Do 5 push-ups and take your time. That's
Yeah.
fine. You know, um,
Yeah.
Another thing I like to do, and we need to get to what you do, but another thing I like to do, I call it a dice run. So I'll actually carry a dice, and I'll
Mm,
determine the time. So let's say I have a half hour or 45 minutes, whatever it is. I will roll the dice. So I've got that time set, that time frame. I'll roll the dice, and if it comes up 4, I will walk or run. So it's the cardio that I will do for 4 minutes. And so I'll time that for 4 minutes. And then at 4 minutes, wherever I am, if it's on pavement, great. If it's in the weeds, great. If it's in sand, great. If it's in mud, great. I will roll the dice and I carry a little card that has 6 exercises on it. And whatever that dice comes up, I have to do 10.
mm,
I have to do 10 of whatever that exercise is. And I've got several cards, so I'll mix them up. Uh,
yeah.
one of those cards is all burpees, different types of burpees. So I know
Okay. Yeah.
that's for a harder
Yeah,
day.
that adds a little spice to the regular walk or the jog. Yeah.
Right. And so if I roll the dice and it comes up 1, I'll run for 1 minute and I'll roll the dice, do that exercise wherever I am.
Mm,
Because it's a mind thing. I have to lay down
yep.
in the mud to do burpees. Okay, well, here we go. Uh,
Yep.
so I'll do that, and it just kind of um, mixes things up. I guess where I'm headed with this is do something simple. Take a dice, take 6 exercises, make them easy. Do air squats or just maybe they're
Yeah.
stretches, but roll your dice, and it makes it fun because it mixes it up. And oh, I'm going to walk for 4 minutes this time, and oh man, I'm going to stretch my calves, or I'm going to do 5 push-ups, or just determine it before you go. Here's my
Mm,
exercises. Here's the dice. Here's my time frame, and just it.
yeah.
I call it a dice run. It's really fun.
That's a great idea. I like that. Yeah, I could do that. Cool. Yeah, so fantastic. I think we covered a lot of ground there. Just some things that uh, we can start with if you're basically starting from scratch. Todd's given us some great ideas, and if you're a little more involved and you need to get up a little earlier, Todd has challenged us with that too. So it's also fantastic.
Well, yeah, don't do what I do. Go for a 10-minute walk or a 15-minute walk. Whatever it is, but get up that much earlier. So
Yeah,
just 10 minutes.
it takes nothing else out of your day.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
Find a good book, listen to it while you're doing it, or go with your spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yeah.
Go with somebody that you care about. It's interesting what you'll talk about. Um,
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, you'll have a
Yeah,
great.
especially men. We love to be doing an activity to draw us out for deeper
Exactly,
thoughts and conversations. So
exactly.
that's a fabulous trick.
Yeah. And the reason I like to stretch, and do yoga with my wife is it's time that we get to be together, and we can, we're not out of breath. We're not, we're
Yeah.
not doing crazy stuff, but we can talk, and we talk about the kids and about our work. And you anyway,
Yep.
it's a great time. Um,
Yeah. Cool. That's fantastic.
okay, let's talk about yours really quick. And by the way, we've got the 10-minute warning.
Oh, okay. 10-minute warning. Fair enough. So what's my
Actually,
routine?
actually, we're at the 8:30 warning.
8:30. All right. I'm looking at my clock here. I'll see if we can do this. Uh, so I do not get up super early every day, but I do at least once a week. And that's where I meet some friends with the F3 group, which I've talked about before. It's basically a nationwide network of men's free outdoor small workout group. And we do a ruck, so we carry weight and we hike for an hour. And then after that, I'll run a 5K typically. And so that's my longest morning. I'm still home by 7 o'clock. But by then I've already exercised for, an hour and a half. And, but I'll also do a bunch of stretching beforehand. And it's primarily around my hips and core and just keeping limber, all of those supporting areas for being limber and flexible enough to get on the ground and get up again and that kind of stuff. So um, the other days right now, very simple. I really enjoy cycling, and so I have a setup in my garage that is very safe because the roads in my area are not great for cycling with the traffic and whatnot. But I'll just pedal for 30 minutes and I'll put on a little video and let the guy yell at me about what gear to be in and how hard to pedal and that kind of thing. But for 30 minutes, you're working really hard and then you're done. And it's super easy in terms of not having to go anywhere, not having to get a bunch of stuff ready. And it's an effective cardio workout and lower body and all of that kind of thing that is helping me to get ready for an event that I'm doing later this fall. So for me, the functional part of that is a readiness for a big event or an activity. And plus, it's my favorite thing to do is to pedal bicycles, and so that suits me. Additionally, like you, I like body weight types of exercises that don't require any equipment. So I do have a pull-up bar, and that's probably my favorite exercise, even though I hate it, because it's really hard and it works seemingly everything in my body, it feels like. But just, doing a set of pull-ups takes barely a minute, if that, and you're gassed. I mean, your entire upper body is gassed. I go to failure and I rest for a little bit and then I'll do it again. And after that, it's like, I'm done. That's all it takes for me. And it allows me to maintain some strength and increase some strength. And I just appreciate that very much. I had add in some push-ups with that, and my routine can be done in 40 minutes, and that's a couple or three times a week. And then, like you said, when things come up that I need to do or would like to do, I feel a lot more confidence and the stamina to get through those things. And I'm not spending hours and hours and hours trying to be, ripped or super strong or whatever, but I can just do stuff. And I think that mindset has changed for me over the years, because I used to want to perform at a certain level in comparison with other people, or to race a certain time, or to lift a certain weight or whatever. I'm over all of that now. It's really just about, how can I feel my best, and how can I continue to grow and to challenge myself, and just feel good in my skin, and to be able to do the things that I like to do. And so my routine is quite simple. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about how doing your routine. I've got this little sign right there that says we can do hard things.
Mm,
And
yeah.
one of the best things one of the best sayings I've ever heard is that we can do extraordinary things when we put ourselves in extraordinary circumstances.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah.
And being ready for those extraordinary circumstances, I think, requires that we put ourselves on purpose. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but we put ourselves in extraordinary circumstances. The fact that you jump on your bike for 30 minutes, that's an extraordinary circumstance. And so, you're putting yourself there. I, I'm not going to go there, but you could take it easy, but what you do is you choose to have a coach that really pushes you. You said the guy
Yeah.
yells at me and tells me what gear to be in,
Yeah. He makes me very uncomfortable.
what rhythm you should be pedaling at, and so forth.
Yep.
And that's what I'm talking about, is that you're on purpose putting yourself in an extreme circumstance so that you can become extraordinary when you need
Mm,
to. And so, talk
yeah.
about how that translates to your work. I mean, do you find that your
Oh.
work, I mean, your everyday life is better because you do that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it like we said before, it translates to everything that you do. When you have a mind that says, um, I can do hard things. I have done hard things. I've made it through this thing that seems impossible right now, or I can't go a moment longer, and then I choose to do it a moment longer. Then when faced with something at work where I don't know how we're going to get through this, instead of despairing, I can more take it as an opportunity for, you know, I can't wait to see how this is all going to turn out, versus, oh my gosh, the sky is falling. And I think some of that mentality comes from just practicing hard things in my life physically. One thing I like to say to some of my F3 friends is exercising is not necessarily our hard thing, but it does kind of build up that history so that when our hard things come, like having that difficult conversation or confronting somebody or confessing something, or these things are what's actually hard, at least for me.
Right.
I am more ready to do that because I know that I can, having done other hard things. If does that make any sense?
Well, yeah, and what I hear you saying is it translates over, even though it's exercise, and you're dealing with other things like anxiety or you know depression, or just stress. It translates over because, oh wait,
Yeah.
hey, I'll use my example. I did 10 burpees this morning. What else worse could happen?
Yeah. Yep.